to that. But as far as me, like when it comes to a singer that I feel like gave me a love for music, would actually have to say Josh Groban. I don't know if
Oh,
you
oh, heck
like
yeah.
whenever I hear like "You Raise Me Up," is like this is
Yeah.
it. Like I'm
Uh,
get the tissues out. Like it's like I love Josh
Version
Groban.
of oh, his version of "Oh Holy Night" is, oh my word, like you cannot top it. Cannot top it.
Oh yeah, and if you haven't seen, there's a musical called Chess. He's in it. His vocals, and he sings with Idina Menzel. They have great like blending together.
Oh, him and Idina would probably be perfect together.
So good, so good. So if you haven't watched Chess, if you love Idina Menzel and if you love Josh Groban, go find it. It's
I
amazing.
have to find, yeah.
Alex, I can feel your excitement like through the phone right now. Like I'm getting amped up right now. I'm about to go look this up.
Hey, go find Josh Groban. I love Josh Groban. I've loved him ever since You Raised Me Up. He has another good song called Broken Vow, which I may talk a little bit more about that later on. But he has a song called Broken Vow that's really good. And then there's another song called You're Still You. And then he also, like a few years ago, came out with this album called Stages, where
With Kelly
like
Clarkson, do you know
yes,
that song? That's the best song. That's the best rendition of it.
yes, I love like there's different songs from like different movies and musicals like Phantom of the Opera, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Chess. Um
Anthem.
yeah.
Did on the new Beauty and the Beast movie there was Evermore, and he did that song, and it was amazing. Amazing. He's the reason
Yeah.
for the album. I bought the
Hmm.
album. I could listen to his version of that song all the time.
Yeah, I love Josh Groban. So if I had to choose like a singer like that one singer that like had me really love music is Josh Groban. And then as far as I actually thought of a composer too that I like. So like back in high school when I took choir in ninth grade, the choir teacher at the time, his name was Mr. Henry, and I had him just for one semester. And anyway, like he played this mute song called Cloudburst. It was by this composer named Eric Whitaker.
Mhm.
And like it sounded really good. And so I started like listening to like other like songs that he composed. Like he has a song called A Boy and a Girl. Then he also has one called Sleep. And like there's just a lot of like choir music. And like I said, I know in that song Cloudburst, like he would use like I guess like let me think of an example. Like I know there's like part of the song where it sounds like it's thunder or rain, but it's like really people like snapping, like a bunch of people in the choir snapping. So I thought that was like a really cool concept. So like as far as musician and composer, those are like my two that I love. So okay, so next question. Um, so if you had the opportunity to meet any musician that has passed away already, who would that be and why? And if you have more than one, you're more than welcome to say, that. But if you had to just choose one or two or three, who would you say?
Okay, I don't know if, which I'm actually kind of out of the camera, sorry. Um, but I don't know how it keeps getting shifted around. But I don't know if you could really consider him a musician, but he's my favorite. He's one of my favorite singers, but he's technically an actor. But he's dead, and I would like to meet him. Gene Kelly. I love his.
Yeah.
Yes,
Heck yeah.
there is nothing that he is in that I do not like. Singing in the Rain is my absolute favorite musical, but Anchors Away is right up there too. When he
It's with Jerry, the mouse.
yes,
There we go.
that part where he's singing and dancing with Jerry, it's just like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, like he's phenomenal. Like I just want to give him a hug. Like I just want to meet him just one time, give him a hug, and tell him just thank you for the way that he has blessed this world with his talents, because he could do all three. He could sing, he could dance, he could act. Like it was, and he was dynamic in all of them. Like I would love to meet him just because someone like that is a role model on how hard he worked to be able to perfect his craft. just that's what pushed me to be good on the trumpet. That's what pushed me to, you know, be better music. Like once when I started in the choir, like I told mom, I was like, you think that and I know I can never sound like Gene Kelly, I'm not saying that, but like, do you ever think that I could be that confident and be able to, you know, portray kind of like that? My mom was like, if you work at it, you can. So it's kind of giving me a goal, you know, like just to sing more confident stuff, to be like him. But it, you know, because of him is what did that. And then I also have a composer I'd like to meet. You said composers a minute ago, and that probably should have went with the question before, but and everybody knows who this is, just about it. Andrew Lloyd Webber is one of my absolute favorite musicals, and I have the soundtrack, the entire Phantom of the Opera soundtrack, on my Spotify. But I have a playlist that's literally just all Andrew Lloyd Webber music. So it's from like a bunch different of his it's a bunch of different of his songs and works that he composes stuff. I love him too. So I'd like to meet him too. If I couldn't meet Gene Kelly, since he's kind of more on the actor side, I would love to meet Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Very, very good choices out there. I love Andrew Lloyd Webber as well. How about you, Dell?
So I already talked about him, but like I would 100% want to meet Stevie Ray Vaughan. I don't know. I've always been big into blues, you know, and I felt like he really just changed the whole landscape of the kind of blues classic rock combination. And it's one of those things too, where like you wish he wouldn't have died at such a young age, because like what would have came out of that if he would have continued to be able to play music. And if I'm not mistaken, like he actually, you know, had some drug issues, sobered up for a while, and was going to Vietnam to do a charity event and died in a helicopter.
Oh, wow.
So, and you know, this is in the 70s, but it's one of those things where he's still young, and like he was trying to turn his life around for the better, and also just crazy good at music. Like I don't think there is a better guitarist, at least not that I think. So just one of those things where I wish I could have seen him continue with his music career, because there's like no telling how far he would have gone.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that would have been, you know, it is like makes you wonder, yeah, what if like things didn't happen the way it did? Like so just
Right.
wanted to see how far he would have gone. And like I said, like you said earlier, he could have probably changed the whole game.
Yeah, really.
So,
And then I guess another one is gonna have to be like, sounds cliche, but Beethoven. I mean, I'll probably listen to Moonlight Sonata anytime I can't sleep, anytime I'm stressed out, I'm turning on Moonlight Sonata. Like that's one of the most beautiful, just soundscapes, you know? I mean, I love soundscapes, period. So if music can kind of put me into a vegetable state, I'm there for it. And I felt like he was one of the best at that.
yeah, absolutely. I love that song. Like, that's definitely a very, very relaxing song. So
Yeah.
yeah. How about you, Alex? I know Judy Garland.
Yes.
Any-
That wasn't even the question.
Anybody else?
Well, I gotta talk about Julie because I gotta take this time.
Yeah, go ahead. Have your moment.
I love Julie. I just want to meet her because she was treated so horribly by everyone, by the movie studio system, by her mom, by doctors, and like they force fed her pills to stay awake or to go to bed, and she became addicted to pills at age 17, so young, and we lost her when she was 47. Like she was so young, and everybody didn't care for her. Nobody cared. It felt like nobody cared for her. They only saw her as like a product, or they only saw her as, you know, whatever. And no one thought she was beautiful, which is like insane. People thought her boss once called her his little hunchback when she was 13.
Mm.
So she had a rough. but she always surprisingly had a very positive outlook on life. She was always, according to her daughters, she was always laughing. She was always trying to look on the bright side of life. No matter how sad her life was, she always looked on the bright side. So I just wanna meet her and give her a hug and tell her that she's beautiful and that she didn't deserve any of this. So definitely Judy, because I love her. But another one, magician, if you consider him a magician, I would. I would love to meet King David.
Oh yeah, like in the Bible. Yeah, was
Yeah,
he? Yeah.
he played the it wasn't the harp, but like a harp, a lyre.
Hmm.
Um, I just finished doing a deep dive on his story, and it's just like, wow. And also, like when you think of worship leader, it's David. You know, he's like the greatest worship leader because everything he did was out of a pure heart for God and no one else. Like he always went after God first, besides the Bathsheba incident. But
Yeah.
but
Besides the
other
little
than
affair over there.
there's that little affair and that little hit on Uriah, you know. But well, I guess it didn't have guns back then, so it was more like a. Um, but other than that, he went to God for everything, and I've just see him when he was king, just lounging around and playing his lyre, just composing sweet music for the Lord, and I just like I want to do that. I just want to be in my house and just play for the Lord and no one else.
Yeah, that's actually a really good answer. I was not expecting that answer, but I love it because like I say I would have I didn't even like think about that. My answer is like very basic. Like for some reason like the only person that I could think of that like I would love to have met was is Whitney Houston.
Oh,
Ooh.
Like just because like she was like a true talent, like her singing like there's not one song that I don't like, you know, like I love every song by her. And it would have been great to meet her and like told her like you're an icon, like you changed music, like I don't feel like it's gonna be hard for like any woman to like really top, like she's definitely up there. It's gonna be hard for any of these like upcoming artists to like overtake Whitney Houston. Like there's always those greats. There's like, you know, Whitney Houston, there's Celine Dion, there's Mariah Carey, I guess. I'm just kidding.
I
But
guess.
so like there's those like great like of women, female singers, like Whitney Houston is definitely one of those. So that would be my answer. Um
I
okay,
remember
so
the day she died. That was a shock, honestly.
yeah.
I was
yeah.
it just all of a sudden like Whitney Houston dead at she was like 40 or 50, like very young, and I was like, what?
Yeah, I know it was crazy. And then to hear that her daughter like died a very similar way to her from what I heard.
Yeah, and only like I think only like 2 years later after Whitney died.
Yeah, that was crazy.